Mary me, this is Jen with Jen Demonic, and I'm putting myself comfortable, covering all my flesh so that we can get started here. If you see something disgusting here, it is something disgusting. I will explain to you in a moment what this is about. Don't get worried. It's just part of the spell. For this spell, you're gonna need a person DNA if you have it available, and sometimes it's contained in a tissue. We're gonna talk all about that. We're getting fancy today. So I hope you're having a great July. It's extremely hot in some parts of the United States of America. So we're having a little bit of a problem here. Some temperatures are going as up as 104, 105. Ooh, guys, it's getting hot. And because it's getting hot, I want to offer you a new hot product that I will cast myself. I will spell it for you because I don't know if I can say this on YouTube, but the SEX me up sex me up spell is on my site, and I cast it for you on video, and that one is supposed to stimulate your hormones as well as your target's hormones, and you can repeat until results are reached. But I can tell you that I've done that casting before, and what it happens with that casting is after that casting, it does create a closeness and a bond, and also some sort of it kind of enhance your desire as well towards that target. So expect a little bit of sort of tingly feeling there, and that's a very good to have, and it does bring you and your target closer. So if you're having a hard time getting closer to a target, the SEX sex did I say it? I said it. The SEX me up spell is on my site, and I cast it for you on video. The other product that we have is actually another defreezer that's also very good. It's to stimulate their desire for you, to activate basically their desire. How does that work? One thing that we've never taught in this channel, and we should probably talk, is Morphic field. It's a technique. It's a telepathic technique. It's actually more than that. There's some laws of physics. Excuse me. There's some laws of physics associated with the morphic field. Not sure to what degree the morphic field is validated by science. To some degree, it is validated by science. What the morphic field does is connect the surrounding fields of individuals for the purpose of sex or love or other purposes. It usually has a wider application, wider than just what we discuss here. But we should do a video on the morphic field because it's an interesting casting technique that not a lot of people know about. It's a very sophisticated technique, and you definitely feel it. When I've had morphic field casting on me, it's a technique of defreezing casting. And folks, there's no way around it. You're going to feel it, and your target is going to feel it as well. It's very powerful, but like everything, it needs to be built up. So if you feel that energy and you need to repeat that energy, go ahead. It's going to be on our site for the next few months. So order once, see what it does to you, and then order again if you like the effects. But you're definitely going to feel it. It's a very, very powerful energy, and it has a different technique than the other defreezers that we have on our site, and it's supposed to attract the person that you like to you in a sexual way. And it is for all of you that have been trying with one mean or another. Maybe this could be the one that does it, because again, the Morphic field, we don't offer anything else in our site with the Morphic field. We probably should. I'm thinking that I should probably look into that more because I do know that the Morphic field techniques have brought incredible results to people. But they are life-changing. So sometimes people are like, you're afraid of changes. But I will definitely look into more. We have a caster in the Coven that does Morphic field. They work with the people that cast the freezers. They don't necessarily work with us directly, but it's part of their group. And they decided to offer this Morphic field technique. And I think that given the fact that they're giving this to us, you should definitely take advantage of it, because I don't know how many of you have ever had a Morphic field casting. And if you like the Morphic field casting, you might want to know more about it. And you can probably Google it, Morphic field, Morphic field, and see what you come up with. It's a very interesting new way of connecting people. And I'll leave it as that, because I will probably make a video on that specifically. Now, don't forget, there's a new Reiki on my Bonanza. It's Reiki to attract love. I don't use Morphic field, but I use energy in your surrounding field to help you draw people to you. It's extremely powerful. And it might boost your appetite, but that all the Reiki does that to people. I would consider that, especially in post-pandemic loneliness. Now, today, DNA is, we're in the science field today, right? With the Morphic field, which is part of the laws of physics, and the DNA. Who knew that the DNA or the Morphic field or the laws of physics can be combined with demonic magic, right? Well, you're not going to find another caster like me out there. I know that for sure. One, because I'm extremely available to you, and I'll see you on Zoom whenever you have a problem. And I know that a lot of you can testify to that. And two, because you get all these different perspective of casting, and some of them do intertwine with magic. This one that we're going to talk about today has to do with punishing someone. Say someone that, like, say, and I'm using for let's say explanatory purposes, I'm using the example of a woman and a man, a heterosexual, but again, it can be open to just about anything and anyone. I'm not excluding anyone here. But let's just say for explanatory purposes, I am, I don't know. Let's just say my name is Allison. Okay, it's not Allison, but I'm just making that up. Allison likes a guy named, let's just call him Mark. Okay, Allison likes Mark, and Mark also talks to Jane Doe, another girl, another woman. So let's just say that Allison really doesn't like that Mark talks to another woman that's named Jane. Okay. So what can Allison do? There's a lot of things that Allison can do. She can do a hot foot. She can do a sanalejo. She can, do the sex spell on Mark to draw Mark to her, more towards her than the other person. There's a lot of things that Allison can do to Mark and to Jane. But one of the things that Allison can do to Jane is to make her look ugly. So we're going to talk about, sometimes you do, when you Google it, make your rival ugly. You come across to a number of different things on Google, right? This is a spell that makes people get fat, okay? So increase in volume. And there's two things that I need to tell you about this spell. So let me make a note of here. because this spell, I have the suspicion that this spell was probably put on some of my clients because they gained an enormous amount of weight. So there is a way to cast this spell to make a person gain weight, and there is a way to stop this spell so that the person loses weight. Now, for the stop spell, that will have to be with us, and you will have to order a custom mask. To make a person gain weight, you can do this. So I don't know if I made myself clear. And it is important because in this pandemic, I felt like a lot of people have gained weight and they blame the pandemic when there might be some other reasons that are not pandemic related, right? So if you feel that you have gained weight, then you probably want to get a custom mask so that we can stop something like this that might have been cast. We don't do a weight loss spell per se, but we can stop whatever was put on you for you to make you gain weight. Does that make sense? For you, instead, that you want to do on your own to make someone like Allison wants Jane to gain weight, here are the options. As usual, I give you different options and I put a formula down here. There's always a formula with me. So I would say that the best thing that you can do if you are in proximity of the person is get a person's DNA. Okay, so if this person coughs or sneezes, please make sure you wash your hands because you don't want to get COVID from this person. So wash your hands thoroughly and maybe wear gloves when you're dealing with somebody else's DNA because you don't know what they have. So that's, out there. So one thing that the best option would be to get a DNA of the person. Can you do this without a DNA? Yes, you can. But the best option would be getting a DNA of the person. So a tissue where the person has, sneezed or coughed, a cup where if you see the person drinking from the cup, sometimes, if you work with a person, anything that has a person's saliva on it or fluids. If you go to the bathroom, I'm sorry, this is TMI, usually the ladies know what I'm talking about. If you go to the bathroom and there's bathroom stalls, maybe you work with this person in the office and you feel that you can get something, maybe she washes her hands or something and then tosses the tissue and you can recover that. That's gross. I know this is it has a little bit of a gross edge, but the DNA is the best way to do this. I always like to have a black candle when it's about negative work, because you can, technically in this spell, all you need is the DNA of the person and the formula. And if you have that, that's great. But I think that it's a fair assumption, again, to say that you are not an expert in magic. You don't have a lot of power. Otherwise, you wouldn't see this video. You wouldn't come to my channel. So I think the candle really is something that helps you, that guides you, that helps you concentrate more on your goal, and you can kind of see how it burns, right? So I would, because this is negative work, still we're in the last couple of days of waning moon, I would still write Jane Doe from the top going down because it's negative work, right? So still write Jane Doe. Okay, going from the top of the candle down to the bottom. If you have the DNA of the person, allow the drips of the candle go onto the DNA. You will put a couple of black heart oil. I like black heart oil. For those of you who have been following me, you know that I like black heart oil by Indio Products. You can find it on Amazon for like $7. you obviously are going to pour the black heart oil all over the candle, right? That's one thing. But you will put a couple of drops also on the DNA of the person, right? So then when you have put a couple of drops of the black heart oil on the DNA of the person, and you have covered the candle with the black heart oil, after you put the name of the person from the top to the bottom, you are going to say, you're going to light the candle, and you are going to say this simple thing. And listen to me very careful. This is not a candle that's supposed to burn all in one time. So you're going to burn it, say what I'm about to say, turn it off, snuffle it, never blow on a candle, never blow on a spell candle. Turn it off in, let's say, 20 minutes. Do that same thing the next night and the next night and the next night. Best done in waning moon, obviously. But this one you can do also on waxing moon. So from new moon to full moon, because it makes things increase, right? And you want this person to increase in weight. So this one is also very good for waxing moon. So you can do basically this one every time. So why do you have to stop the candle and burn it a section at a time, right? Because the more you say that formula, the more weight that person will gain. So you're gonna light up the candle after you wrote the name, the first time you write the name, right? And then you pour the black heart oil and you put 2 drops of black heart oil on the DNA. If you don't have the DNA, that's fine. Just try without the DNA, it'll take longer. I think with the DNA will be better, but not everyone has access to their target. So now you're gonna say this: dark and light, give Jane Doe a big fright, make her grow round and fat. I wish for that. That's it. So now you're going to let it burn for about 20 minutes. You're going to imagine this person gaining weight. So visualize this person really getting fatter and fatter, and knowing that this person has gained 10 pounds by the time you have reached at least the first section of the candle. You're going to blow the candle. The evening after, you already have the name written of the person, and you would just put a lot of you would just put a little bit more, another drop of black heart oil on the candle only. You're still having the DNA there. Allow the candle to drip on the DNA of the person. And then you're going to light it up, and you're going to say the formula again, because until this candle has burned all the way down. Maybe you want to put a plate here or a piece of you guys know me. For those of you who follow me know that I like to put aluminum foil here so that I wrap everything and nothing gets messy, because these things are pretty messy and pretty toxic in your hands and in furnitures, and they leave stains, and you don't want that. And quite honestly, I don't use plates. I like aluminum foil. So if you want to put an aluminum foil here under, that's fine. If you want to draw a star on the aluminum foil and put it on top of it, that's fine. But I would say put aluminum foil here, so that once you have done burning this and say the incantation, every night that you light it up at each section, you're then going to wrap it all up and dispose it right away. This one you don't keep with you. So this one, as soon as you're done, you're just going to toss it in the trash, but the trash cannot be near your home. Just toss it away from you. If you know where the target lives, then you can toss it near the target. That will be probably the best way to ensure that the target gets the energy of your work. And just if you have visual access to the target, you can see how much they grow, right? If you don't have visual access of the target, I don't know why you're doing this, because I think the best way for you to know how this is working is if you have visual access of your target. Because remember, I tell you often that spell casting is like baking a cake. So you have to make sure that whatever cake you're baking is turning out to be the way you want to. Otherwise, you have to redo it until the results are reached. And then you dispose it near the person's house. I would say after the last day of this little casting, you want to do a cleansing. Watch for the video of cleansing with egg and dish liquid on my YouTube, or come to me, because you don't want any energy, you don't want any energy of this kind to remain with you. These are little spells. They're very simple to do, but don't think they don't do anything, folks, because they do. And you don't want to be the victim of your own making. So what have I taught to you today? There is a sex me up, oops, I said it again, spell on my side for all of you who want to try and get their target closer for sexual purposes. And I cast it on video, and I give you some insights of what is going on in case you need to repeat it. There's also a new spell that uses Morphic field technique. Note to self, then you're going to talk about the Morphic field the next time, so that you guys know what the Morphic field is, because it's an amazing new way of thinking of spell casting that has to do with basically energy of the universe and the laws of physics. So that's interesting. There is a new Reiki to attract love on Bonanza. I'll put the link down here for all of you who need more energy around them to attract people. Very good for post-pandemic times, because all of us have been, tried by the loneliness of the pandemic. Oh, a couple of reminders, folks. Again, I keep getting my stuff that says people keep asking me which spell should I buy, which spell I should not buy. My stuff, Hannah or Aaron, my stuff is not authorized to answer spiritual questions. Under no circumstances they will answer spiritual questions. They cannot recommend which spells to order. And again, I find myself saying this one time too many. And the next time somebody asks for it, I will tell my staff not to respond at all. The options that you have is you follow your instinct and you purchase whatever makes sense to you, or you get a consultation with me and we look into this together. My stuff, again, once more, and I hope it's the last time I say this, my stuff is not authorized to give you recommendations for spells. They are just secretaries and admin staff. Erin is a priestess, but Erin will not recommend you for spells. So, having said that, another thing that I need to say this time, when you're purchasing a product with us, please make sure to check the description of the spell. Not every spell that we cast gives a report, and we cannot give a report when the casting does not require a report for the most part. So please check the description of the spell. If a report is important to you, more so than pictures, all you need to do is select a spell that has a report, so that you will get a direction on what to do based on the report that is given to you. There are many spells on our site that do give a report, but they do take longer, and they do take weeks of casting, and sometimes the report takes longer to be sent over to you. But if this is important to you because you want to know what direction to take next, I always suggest you look at the spell that gives you a report. Now, the defreezers or anything that has a demonic component will not give you necessarily a report. Some of our spells give pictures, some of our spells give videos, some of our spells give reports, and some of our spells, like the defreezers, give absolutely nothing, because we're not allowed to share their know-how, especially when there are other people involved, and there are not just from our coven, and they're making a courtesy to us, such as Soraya, or and sometimes Diana does not participate for the entirety of the spell. So please be considerate of all of that. And if a report is important to you, we will definitely do our best to make sure that you have a report for your spell, if the spell indeed offers one. Okay, so just make sure that you check all the things that you want out of your casting, and we will be more than happy to accommodate it all. So I think I told you everything, and I wish you all the best. There's a lot of new and good information this time. So if you have any questions about that, you can see me on Zoom. And if you want to just get a Reiki for love, you can see me on Zoom for that. In the meantime, stay cool if you're in America, because things are about to get hot. This is Jen with Jen in the Morning. Bye. Bye. Where's the bye? This is the lovely thing of doing things on Zoom, right? Yeah. Yeah, now I got it. I'm still not used to the Zoom thing. Imagine. I know, technology, post-pandemic technology. Now it's really bye. I'll see you.